Hi, my name is Konrad Szymaniak, and in this video, I'm going to show you what you can do to really show the value your SEO brings. In this case, when you're trying to forecast the revenue gain or a number of customers gain, or what essentially SEO can bring to the table when you employ it in house and you want to gain up. Extra leverage for SEO, or when you're consultant or agency and you want to win clients, or you want to upsell to full SEO services, etc., etc. So what you could do, you could just gather some basic data with regards to SEO. So you have your queries, gathered around thousand something queries, your URL, monthly search volume. So sorting the data by monthly search volume. Then you just scrape it via any SEO tool. So you have your position for each keyword, the intent of the keyword. So if it's commercial, navigational, informational, etc. Keyword difficulty. So in each tool, you have a keyword difficulty score for the query. So essentially, you would get just basically how difficult it is to rank for a keyword, the SERP features. So if you have a current URL or for that query, you have the SERP features available, and that is on the search engine result page. So if it's a local pack, reviews, featured snippets, etc., cost per click. So in this case, what I would like to show you is how you could essentially show how much it would cost if SEO was not in place for this organization. So let's say this organization don't want to do SEO, they're not interested. You could be able to show how much that traffic would cost via a Google ad campaign. So, for example, to have this particular keyword, I've streamed the data so you can't see the queries because I just want to hide what I've been doing. So, for example, the URL in this example is hidden because for privacy purposes, for what I did. So you have competition index, so essentially cost per click. So it's an average cost per click if a user clicks on Google Ad campaign, how much it would cost you. Competition index is how competitive the ads are for this particular keyword, and essentially this is a manual relevance score that I did via Python. So basically, what I did is create a basic by uploading libraries how relevant each keyword is to the URL and to the domain. So essentially, this is a score of how relevant. So, for example, you want to prioritize number nines over number sevens via your keyword kind of optimization and your overall strategy. Now, let's move on to strategy. So, in this case, I've essentially filtered it down to four different decision trees. So, you have backlink strategy, which is an off-page SEO strategy, which is long-term and it will kind of drive us profits in the latter stages of a retainer if you're an SEO consultant, or if you're in-house when you're employed in your latter stages of your employment period, etc. So you have a backlink strategy, on-page SEO. So essentially, what you could see in this example is a keyword is put it into the backlink strategy bracket because I've made a decision that if a keyword isn't as easy to rank for, so if it's higher difficulty, I put it into backlink strategy, and if the competition index is also high. So for example, what I'm trying to show you that for this particular scenario, the client have been running PPC campaigns with no SEO in mind or very little SEO. So I wanted to just basically show them what they're missing out on. So I'm prioritizing keywords based on what they were kind of bidding on. So in this scenario, if the keyword difficulty is high, above 20, and if competition index is above 0.45, so nearly half, I'm gonna say do not include in SEO. If, for example, let me look at on-page SEO. So if a keyword is lower than 20, so for example, keyword difficulty was 7, and competition index is so low, it's 0.03. I said on-page SEO because first of all, if that client is running Google Ads campaign, they might optimize for that, and the keyword difficulty is low. So I'm basically showing that on-page SEO for this particular query would be relevant for this particular case. Then we look at, for example, do not include an SEO, and this is usually when there's both kind of options there. So when you see a backlink strategy decision, you could say, oh look, for example, do not include SEO bracket in decision tree. I figured that it's the competition index is over the limit, so it's over 0.45, and the keyword difficulty is over the limit. If one of those conditions doesn't match, so for example, you could just say backlink strategy. So for backlink strategy, what I did is essentially one of those conditions actually match. So for this example, for this keyword, the keyword difficulty is too high. However, the competition index is 0. So one of those conditions didn't match my decision tree hierarchy, which essentially leads to my strategy decisions. So I'm essentially governing the keywords and figuring out which keywords we should target first and what the strategy is. So if it's an off-page SEO, if it's an on-page SEO, off-page SEO, etc. Then I'm looking at the timeline decision. So I'm basically saying, because some of these keywords, for example, there could be like on-page SEO keyword that I want to optimize first, and it's short term. So do it as soon as we win the client, and we could also do it via long term, which I'm going to show you essentially what it means. So if we took in an example, the relevance score, which I calculated using Python, which is basically saying to us that if the keyword is in the on-page SEO bracket for this example, and if the relevance score is above 6, so it's a very relevant keyword to the URL and to the query, then we want to start optimizing that URL for this particular keyword first. And we also prioritize by the monthly search volume as well. So we essentially creating a cluster of keywords for each URL that we want to optimize for. If for this example, on-page SEO strategy and it is below number 6, so if it's not as relevant, so like you have the relevance score, if the query is not relevant to the page, we could put it in the medium term bracket. And of course, I've also said that if the strategy is off page, then naturally it's a long-term strategy. So what I mean by that, we would with any client, we would make sure the on-page kind of strategy is like on point, and then if we're kind of ranking on a second page, etc., we would increase the authority of that URL by a backing strategy. So it usually involves digital PR campaigns with my subcontractors, and of course, if the decision here would be if the keyword is either too difficult to rank and it's not profitable for the business, etc., we would put it into the bracket PPC or kill keywords. So essentially, I'm suggesting to the client that you might consider that keyword, but not with SEO in mind. Moving on, then we go into the priority. So I've gathered the strategies for each keyword, the timeline decision if it's a short term, medium, long term, etc. And then I want to go by the priority. So which keywords I should really prioritize in my decision trees. So for example, I figured out I have different kind of priority levels to the keywords I want to target. So I have low priority and high priority, but also lowest priority. So for example, if we take a look at the first keyword here, what we could see is that so of course I'm prioritizing the keywords by the intent. So if the intent is commercial, I want to kind of prioritize that keyword over the informational keyword, simply because for this particular client, their target audience is a Gen Z, so they probably do their research on social platforms, not Google. So having that commercial intent kind of prioritization is really important. So just get into the depth of this is that I'm prioritizing by the intent. I'm also saying that, for example, um, if like the number is for example the data point, so commercial, we basically saying that and it's within the bracket on page SEO, then it should be high priority. So what we're basically saying is that if the keyword is highly commercial and we already put it into the bracket of on page SEO, it should classify as high priority. Vice versa, if the keyword is commercial, but it's kind of off-page SEO strategy, then we would put it in the lower priority bracket. So what we're basically doing is narrowing down our keywords to a smaller number based on the data we have. And of course, this is in one line, kind of one time practice where uh, keywords change, URL rankings change. So this is usually relevant for QSRs or any like kind of reports that needs to be kind of communicated further down the line. So then we have the data with current monthly traffic. So I basically done a quick VLOOKUP from my data here. So what we're looking at is essentially the currently what's this company getting in terms of the monthly traffic. And here we're looking at, remember when I showed you the cost per click? So, for example, if we look at, so it's a no brainer here how to work it out. So basically, you're timesing the column N2, which is sorry H2, which is the cost per click, times by the current monthly traffic. So, for example, for this particular keyword, it costs us roughly around 0.9, so 92p per click. And if we take a look at the current monthly traffic, so what we're doing here is basically timesing the cost per click that by the current monthly traffic. So it costs them now nearly £4 from Google Ads perspective. So it's basically like just a quick calculation what the value of SEO is. So I then taken a deeper dive into, for example, a 12-month period. So on average, I estimated that that the Google algorithm will favor this website, and we would be able to, on average, position kind of for the queries on position 5. So each query would, on average, be aggregated to position 5. Right. So moving to part two, we basically said that the new monthly traffic would be calculated based on the fact that we estimated that for each query we would be able to, on average, position ourselves as number five on the search engine result pages. So for some queries we would be able to rank higher than the others, etc., etc. And we basically said that the monthly search volume for each keyword would be times by the click-through rate, so 2.15% click-through rate. And we basically said after 12-month period, we'll be able, based on the position numbers, we'll be able to get ourselves to this amount of traffic for each keyword based on the 2.15% click-through rate. And now this is like the key part in demonstrating the board of directors like the value of SEO. So we're basically saying that if you were to leave SEO out, or if SEO was not your priority in terms of the marketing channel considerations, this is how much this traffic, this monthly organic search traffic, would cost via Google Ads. And how is this calculated? We're basically saying that after 12-month period, we calculated that we would get this amount of traffic for each keyword based on the click-through rate and estimated average position 5. And for each of these keywords, we basically said that for it to cost, if you leave the SEO out, you would basically have that traffic after 12-month period if you were leave to SEO out, and you would basically just times it by cost per click. So we basically timesing for this scenario 260 monthly clicks, monthly traffic times by the cost per click. So we basically saying that for this particular keyword, it would cost the business on the monthly basis around £522 based on 260 monthly clicks on average. So we essentially just showing the kind of the business where we stand in terms of the value of SEO. So if we were to leave SEO out, but you still care about the traffic, you still care about those leads or customer clicks, this is how much you would have to pay from a Google ad perspective. And bear that in mind that if you decide to cancel some SEO out or take it much slower, like SEO doesn't come and go. So let's say you have the budget for Google Ads now. However, in 4 months' time, you basically don't have the budget anymore with running Google Ads. Then this traffic will be gone, and SEO traffic still stays. Of course, it still has to be polished and improved, etc. But it's not like you just turn SEO off. So that's the beauty of it. Where with Google Ads, if you don't have the budget, you don't have the traffic, you don't have the customers. And for this particular business, it's a service-based business in the marketing space actually. So they do some form of marketing. And by working with this client, we were able to calculate how many average monthly leads they would get by doing SEO with us. So we basically said that based on the conversion rate, 2% web conversion rate, we looked at the analytics and we said that from the new monthly traffic, so in 12 months' time, from that monthly traffic, we basically said that for this particular keyword, if we were to get 260 clicks, 260 users on your website, and 2% of those users for this particular keyword would convert, it would give you around 5 leads on average per month for this particular keyword. And we also asked the business, what's your kind of lead to customer conversion rate? And they look at the data, they looked at the CRM systems, and they estimated, they give us a figure from 5 to kind of 8%. So we said, okay, let's do a 6% lead to customer conversion rate, just for the purpose of this forecasting. And we were able to identify that based on, for example, this keyword, if we were um, able to get you 5 leads per month, 0.3 of those leads, so nearly a half, would convert into customers. So it just shows you the value of SEO. And here at the bottom, if you still following me, you can see the totals. So for example, for this particular business, I was able to identify like aggregated figures as to what they were paying. So the Google ads, how much it will cost to run these ads, and just showing him. So currently, so a couple months ago now, they were getting 92 clicks on average per month from SEO. This traffic costs around, so it's a minimal traffic, £63 on average per month. And looking at the 12-month period, after working with us for 12 months, based on the average position we will be able to get for each keyword and 2.15% click-through rate, this is how much new organic monthly traffic they would get after 12-month period per month on average. So so just looking at the figures, we basically just sum it all up in that new monthly traffic column, and this is how much it would cost. So it would cost the business, so they would be able to get 2,007 free clicks, or 2,700 free new potential leads, new potential customers. And it would cost them via an PPC route. It would cost them around £3,051 on average each month. And we basically just summing up the total. So this is how much the leads they would get. So by doing SEO with us, they would get around 54 leads on average per month after the 12-month period. And if you look at the monthly customers, so because this is a service-based business, this is how I calculated it. So I basically said that the lead to customer, it would differ for e-commerce websites, but for service-based businesses, we need to have a metric like lead to customer conversion rate. So from these leads, we would get a 6% lead to customer conversion rate. So we're basically saying that after 12-month period, we'll be able to get you 54 leads per month, and it would equal to roughly around three customers per month after 12-month period from doing SEO with us. So I'm basically showing the business not like the ROI figures, but more about the kind of customers. So I could go on and go further into details into the financial figures, like what's the customer lifetime value for your business. So let's say that the company agrees on doing kind of further optimizations with us. If they are spending around, I don't know, roughly current kind of consulting figures on kind of monthly basis for Schmack Digital SEO consulting is around £3,000. If they were to spend roughly around £3,000 a month for SEO, they would get around 3 customers. And since this is a service-based business that is in the marketing space, those 3 customers each month over time would kind of triple and quadruple. So, for example, if they were to get 3 customers, and 3 of those customers or 2 of those customers were to stay with them for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, then the kind of the ROI on that would be much higher. So that's the beauty of working with service-based businesses, is that the leads and the customers SEO brings you is like it doesn't really much identify the customer lifetime value. So not with like e-commerce business where you just get the customer, get the sale, and done. That's it. With service-based business, you get to kind of have that customer and keep that customer based on the kind of offering. So yeah, just wanted to basically just show you guys my operating procedure for forecasting. So with every single client, that's what I do. I get the basic SEO data, and I try to kind of show the company, show the potential client how I go about identifying the strategy, uh, and kind of how I would go about the timeline and my decision trees, what I would prioritize. So of course I want to prioritize the commercial based intent from the query based data. And then yeah, I'll basically just show you the monthly traffic, what you're currently getting, what it currently would cost via Google Ads, and what you would get after the 12-month period, and how much it would cost if you were to run Google Ads campaigns. And then the lead number per month on average, and the average monthly estimated customers based on the lead to customer conversion rate. So yeah, I hope that helps. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Conrad.